Sheriff's Department informed us that they were under investigation, that the employee was under investigation. We put him on leave.
Tonight, we continue to investigate a school district with an ongoing drug investigation against a former staff member. That story had a lot of you talking and giving us tips, and we've been following those. Good evening. I'm Emily Spain.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. This Target 8 investigation is months in the making, and with the findings, Chief Investigator Jamie Gray.
I'll tell you, this one's been tough. With an ongoing criminal investigation, officials' lips are sealed pretty tightly. But we're able to look into concerns about drugs in and around southern Boone County schools, where the Sheriff's Department started looking into this particular case in May. Here's Carolina Brigago.
After hearing tips from parents and students, I started looking for documents and data, trying to understand how big the problem is. And I found out what started as a local story turned out to be way more. In early September, parents received this letter from the Southern Boone District Superintendent saying an employee was under investigation on claims involving illegal drugs. The letter made me think how easy it is for kids to acquire drugs.
Well, we know there's issues. We know that there's legal abuse of drugs, and we know that there's illegal substances that are circulate through the town.
I called the Boone County Dispatch Center and requested its Ashland drug-related calls since 2010. Out of 123 entries, I found 61 located within a 10-minute walk from Ashland's high school. That's 50% of all drug calls. Last year, the Missouri Department of Mental Health asked students, how easy is it to get access to prescription drugs? The answer shown in this graph, where Boone County is less than 1% shy from being characterized as one of the top counties for very easy or sort of easy access.
Fortunately, it's fairly easy. As I said, there are so many more people who are being prescribed opioids, depressants, stimulants, that, many times these people get them from other family members or they steal them. Just by the fact that there's more of these medications out there, more people are able to get their hands on them.
I also requested Ashland police reports for cases involving drugs within the school grounds. One report involving high school kids mentions 5 minors associated with Xanax, methamphetamine, and marijuana. One of the minors is mentioned in another report selling weed to a 14-year-old and has a court case for driving while intoxicated.
Teenagers that's the age group where this becomes available, where maybe they're introduced to it, they've heard about it, curious about it.
But misuse of prescription drugs seems hard to solve.
It's similar to a squeegee where you wipe the window, and then there's a dry spot, and then the water from elsewhere just kind of trickles in, and so then the problem resumes.
We reached out via social media to some Ashland residents looking for comments on the high school employee under investigation and prescription drug issues involving students. And answers like, I was advised to say no comment, and there's too much a risk in it if people found out it was me, left more questions than answers. This afternoon, I talked to the Southern Boone superintendent about what the district is doing to help increase student safety.
Sometimes asking for help is the hardest thing to do, but that's what we did as a school district, is we asked for help. And so I reached out to the Boone County Schools Mental Health Coalition. I reached out to the Youth Community Coalition and the Ashland Helping Youth people.
At the beginning of the school year, the high school also changed some of its policies to prevent consumption of illicit and licit drugs within school grounds. The policies include students are allowed to go to their cars during school day, and they must use see-through water bottles. In studio, Carolina Brigago, KOMUA News.
Drugs certainly not unique to this district. There are schools all around Missouri that are battling issues like the opioid crisis and prescription drug abuse. You can see county by county data on our website, KOMU.com, so you can look up more information about student drug accessibility and usage where you live.
A well-known Columbia community leader is charged with domestic assault. Lorenzo Lawson was arraigned today. You might recognize Lawson. He's the former director of Columbia's Youth Empowerment Zone and a former member of the mayor's task force on community violence. Prosecutors charged him with the crime November 2nd. A woman says he punched her about 10 times in the face. According to the Youth Empowerment Zone, Lawson stepped down from his role last week. He had been involved with the organization since 2004.
Police are still looking for 2 missing Jefferson City teens who were last seen Monday evening. The Jefferson City Police Department says they're following up on a few possible leads. 17-year-old Lily Gore and 15-year-old Zachary Johnson were reported missing yesterday. Police say the 2 teens are believed to be in this 2005 green Jeep Liberty. KOMU8 also reached out to Jefferson City High School for a comment, but they declined. Right now, they are just hoping the 2 teens come back home safe. If you have any information on where the teens could be, please contact the police. People who live on Burkhart Street in Moberly are concerned. This after a 5-year-old was struck by a bus Monday. KOMU8's Jenna Puritz is in the studio with their reaction.
London Kiryuku was crossing the street to meet her mother on Monday when she was hit by a school bus. Witnesses say she lost one of her legs. Neighbor Jonathan Fitzsimmons says 2 cars were parallel parked outside of the daycare blocking the street. When London passed through the parked cars, she was hit. Another neighbor told me that the bus driver would not have been able to see London over the 2 cars. I also spoke with MU Health, which says London is still in the hospital, but in good condition. The daycare located on East Burkhart Street is owned by London's grandparents. I reached out to 3 family members for comment, and no one got back to me. In the studio, Jenna Puritz, KOMU8 News.
When it comes to the Trump administration's tax reform, there's a Missouri connection. State Treasurer Eric Schmidt will sit down tomorrow with the feds and discuss how nationwide changes could reach Missouri's economy. Schmidt plans to push tax relief for Missouri's working families and small businesses. He believes a small business owner with a middle-class income should get a tax cut of $3,000. We talked to a pair of Jefferson City business owners about saving money.
If I had that income, it would be a substantial income.
New businesses, you do have to borrow the money to get your goods, and you've got rents to pay, you've got a lot of overhead.
Schmidt will be in D.C. tomorrow. The Tax Policy Center, a nonpartisan think tank, analyzed the president's tax plan in September. It found while middle-income families would get a modest cut, most benefits would go to the highest 1% of earners.
Attorney General Josh Hawley is under fire for his home address. A Missouri Democrat is now suing the Republican Senate candidate for not living in the capital city. Donna Mueller says Hawley is breaking a state law that requires the Attorney General to live in Jefferson City. Hawley owns an apartment there, but his permanent residence is in Ashland. Scrutiny over his residency intensified after August's special election when Hawley voted in Ashland.
The Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education released its annual performance report today. Scores for Columbia Public Schools dropped 2.5% from last year. Despite the decrease, the district saw an increase in college and career readiness. The state says slight decreases in test scores aren't usually alarming.
A point here and there either way is not especially concerning, but if you see a trend of a couple of years in a downward movement, that's when we would really be concerned. And we do watch those very carefully.
Potter says statewide test scores went up this past year.
Well, it rained a little this morning, but then we got some sunshine out there. Let's send it over to Kenton to see what the end of the week looked like.
All right, Emily, thank you very much. Let's take a look back at our day today. High temperatures around 60 degrees this afternoon. We are going to be just a touch colder for our day tomorrow. We're actually cooling down to around the freezing mark here tomorrow morning into the lower 30s, around 31 for a lot of us. But then tomorrow afternoon, we're up to 52. Again, that's seasonal, but it is going to be a bit cooler than we were at today. We're seeing a lot of sunshine, though, on our Thursday. Then by Friday, cloud cover returns, but so do warm temperatures. We're at 65 by Friday afternoon. Could have some patchy drizzle or a sprinkle throughout the day on Friday. It's going to be breezy as well, gusts up to 25 miles an hour. And then some showers and thunderstorms as we head into our overnight hours. Dry, though, for most of our weekend, but colder there, too. I'm tracking all of this detail hour by hour. Plus, we'll take a look at the beginning of Thanksgiving week. That's coming up after the break.
After the big Western Union wire scam, how not to be the next victim.
And call it a cat scam because that's what it really is. But dogs and even cows can use it, too. That's later in the show. If you fell victim to a scam using Western Union anytime in the past 13 years, you could get your money back.
KMU8's Daytona Everett has more on the settlement and how people are getting scammed right here in mid-Missouri.
Scam victims who reported it to Western Union or to the Attorney General's office could soon be receiving a claim form on their doorstep in the next couple of weeks. So if that's you, payment may soon be on the way. But what do you do to ensure that you don't run into a scam again? Scams, they affect everyone, or at least that's what Sean Spence says.
Scams that specifically target older people, scams that particularly target younger people, scams that target veterans, scams that target women. The list is very, very long.
And in crazy ways, like getting a call that says,
"Oh, grandmother, this is your grandson. I'm stuck in jail and they're being horrible to me. Would you go get $1,000 worth of gift cards from the drugstore and meet somebody in a parking lot and pay them, and they'll bail me out of jail with it?" That happens. That happened down the street from me here in Columbia.
People all across the country were roped into scams just like this while using Western Union. That's why the money transfer service came to the multi-million-dollar settlement.
We've gone from a situation in which people had really no hope at all of ever seeing money again to $586 million worth of people are going to get their money back.
Online transfer services are fine, but cash and credit are best, he says.
They're not 100% sure of whether they can trust where the money is going, so they can use their credit card,
which is traceable. Western Union is being more careful itself, offering new online tools to help customers avoid future scams. The claim form will be coming from the settlement administrator with instructions on how to file the claim. Reporting live from the capital of Daytona, Everett, KMU8 News.
All right, and it's time for our flight forecast here tonight. For our day tomorrow, we're going to see a lot of sunshine here throughout Missouri, so no delays expected there. New York, though, could see a few delays with some rain in the morning and early afternoon, but likely getting a bit better by the end of the day. Otherwise, check out that high temperature there in Denver, 70 degrees, well above average. We have above average temperatures heading our direction as well. It's here on Friday. I'll track that, rain chances, and look ahead to the weekend coming up right after the break.
The MU Vet School unveils new technology with a nearly $2 million price tag. Find out what it is after weather.
Cutting-edge technology unveiled today at the MU Vet School. What you're seeing is a dog. This scanner will help animals and people who have cancer. It shows clearer images than the old technology. The scanner costs $1.7 million.
It is a large investment, so moving forward with this piece of equipment, we see this as a clinical tool, obviously, to be used here at the vet hospital, but we also see this as a core facility for the university, utilizing the other components that the university has to offer.
The scanner will be able to look at human and plant tissue as well. Beforehand, the closest scanner was in Colorado.
New upgrades to the Truman VA Hospital are finally open to patients and hospital personnel today. Patients were moved to the hospital's new intensive care unit. The new unit is closer to the operating rooms and is bigger than the old space. It comes equipped with more beds, new equipment, and new monitors. Hospital in the future plans to add a new surgical unit, which will be located just down the hall from the ICU.
Tiger basketball team hitting the road with or without the big star. Sports is next. Take a look at this. The Kansas City Royals are getting a new field. It will be unveiled tomorrow. The project started in mid-October. Every inch of Kauffman Stadium is changing. The new field includes dirt and sod flown in from Colorado and Pennsylvania. Some exciting moments on that field. World Series moments in 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, lots of memories there. Here's a look at what we're following for KMU8 News today. Hospitals nationwide are seeing a shortage in saline solution needed for IV bags.
The shortage comes from Hurricane Maria wiping out Puerto Rico. How hospitals are dealing with the shortage tomorrow morning. Kenton.
And to temperatures tomorrow morning in the lower 30s, around the freezing mark. A lot of sunshine throughout the day, though. We'll be in the lower 50s by the afternoon. Seasonal for this time of year, but a bit cooler than it was today. 65 then on Friday. A warm one with the cloud cover, maybe a sprinkle throughout the day, but those showers and thunderstorms hold off until the overnight hours and early morning on Saturday. Then a lot of sunshine the rest of the day. 51 on Saturday, but windy. 46 Sunday, 55 Monday. Starting off warm next week, but we will cool down after that. A cool one heading into Thanksgiving, but could be worse.
Moments, World Series moments. My favorite, the media was put down in left field, and the very first pitch for the Royals in 2015 against the Mets. Alcides Escobar hits the inside the park, home run down the left field. We're just watching it. He's circling the bases.
It's sad to see that field go.
Yeah, I think the Royals are gonna win this World Series. I didn't realize it was gonna happen in 5 games, but they were clearly the better team. So.